you. I don't like to stay there. I prefer to have a kind of empathy with you. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me here. Thank you, guys. And I'm with emotion because I'm here on behalf of all my team because I grew up with them. I've been learning a lot about how to make dreams happen, okay? Because, pretty much everyone can dream. Not really everyone can make things happen. And for sure, you cannot do it alone, okay? So I would want to say thanks to my colleagues here, Silvia, who has been dealing on our legal department, to Marella, who has been supporting us since really the beginning. And I really want to thank all of you because probably not so many entrepreneurs or managers are used to thank you because it seems always pretty much boring, your job, but it's so important. It's true. Especially talking about Alibaba. I didn't make any question because it was too embarrassing to me. Anyway, what I have in mind today, in order to do not make you boring or don't feel annoyed, it was to tell you a story of a company who has been not really dealing into facilitating the deliveries or matching market, but just trying, and I can tell you it's so difficult, in making emotions and make these emotions able to reach the people. Through what? Through a product. So, can you imagine, Golden Goose didn't born with sneakers, but we're ready to wear. Then actually, it was the time of Texan boots, and then actually, it was the time of sneakers. But what actually make every of those single products special for our audience so far, because this is not something I'm saying, but it's what people usually say about Golden Goose, is that we don't know why, we don't know how, but everything you do is giving to us an emotion. So I didn't found the company. We had two amazing founders, two people that I would love to say represents a story of love. And you can breathe this in every single thing that the company does, makes, and think. And also the way we hire people, even our lawyers, we are so in love with each other, no? And then there was a time when the company was 20 million around turnover, and finally the founder made probably one of the smartest and hardest decision ever, so to sell the company. Because he said, I was great into creating this, into bringing this into this level. Now I really need help. And life gave me really this chance, together with my two other super important colleagues, our CFO and our COO, to really bring this challenge and try to add value to this amazing project. So such a challenge because, when we got the company, it was not only 20 million company. Basically, for me, when I met for the first time Alessandro and Francesca, it was already a brand for 1 billion, But the difficulty, it was to make it happen. Make it happen for a brand that no marketing, no advertising, just word of mouth. So for sure, word of mouth is great because it's super solid and create really organic empathy and link with the brand and the values of it. But on the other side, how can you scale this business so fast as all these investment funds want to make it? So not easy. And especially, it's a matter of fact, the scarcity was the real marketing of the brand. So how can you bring a brand from 20, so from scratches to 1 billion, but still many niche? Very difficult. So it's very interesting what I've been hearing today here with you because it was really an amazing setup into understanding better how to deal with social media, okay? Because we've never been that great on that. And then also listening at Mr. Evans, that was even super interesting because so far also the new market and the online has been also helping Golden Goose to be more known all over the world. But that's, the boring part. The most difficult part was, again, how to bring these emotions from 20 million to 1 billion. That's a story. It's a real story because, you couldn't betray the initial customers, and you should make a new audience, So two different level of mentality, of way of speaking, And, at the beginning you have to speak to opinion leaders, and then you have to go to followers. But both are important because both can become Golden Goose lovers, not customers. Because in fashion, it's not, as Mr. Evans said before, only a matter of deliveries. It's a matter of emotion. This is actually. You don't give a shit if you get your Golden Goose in 2 months delivery. The most important, it has to be your Golden Goose. That's the challenge. So this is the reason why of the lab. There was, in a sudden moment, as soon as we've been able to reach now 250 million turnover from these 20 million, the new challenge was, how can I make my old customers feel special and my all new customers feel special? How can I tell to them the amazing story of passion of all our artisans that every single day are making? That's the reason why of sneaker maker, because we don't produce, we make. How can I tell this to the world? Through social, for sure. But I need also to have something physical. When I try to explain this, because emotions, probably one of the first emotions is when you firstly date with your girlfriend. How do you date? By social media? No, you want to meet her or meet him in real, no? So this is the same even when you have to understand how Golden Goose is made. And that's the reason why we started with the lab. So the first was in Milano, and was the first of a long series we are going to open in the future, where simply we brought our artisan to the store. So can you imagine, 60 square meters, it's a matter of relativity as well. It's not the simple because usually our relativity is pretty much 14,000 per square meter. So it was not easy to imagine an artisan giving back to us 14,000 per square meter. But on the other side, we finally gave a chance to our customers to meet face-to-face with our artisan and to make their own sneakers. Because, so many people have been dealing with collaborations, with customizations. But to me, all that stuff is old-fashioned. Because the secret of Golden Goose is that when you buy one pair of Golden Goose, you start your customization. That's the amazing thing. And that's the reason why, as much as you use it, as much as you will follow, you will love it. And that's also the reason why our customers are usually named as lovers, and they become usually collectors. And can you imagine, we actually now produce around 1,800,000 units, okay? And our customer base is only 400,000 people. Can you imagine? How much big is the loyalty with the brand? It's incredible. So how much is the potential of the brand? I mean, I think no one of you is stupid. So if we got 400,000 people at the moment with 250 million turnover, I let you guess what can be, the limit of the company. And but the real limit, again, is not numbers. It's not capability on production. It's not geo-pricing. It's not online or not online. Is the capacity of the company to remain always true in giving this emotion to the customers. So if, thanks to the lab and thanks to this project of bringing, and keep it sustainable, this part of emotion of the making of the sneakers, because now we are going also to open a school in Venice, can you imagine? Because, you can buy factories. You can buy Manovie, where you make sneakers, but you cannot buy the emotion that the artisan is giving to your item. This is something you have to grow. You have to scale. How? Simply allowing other people to show their love. How? Into making a school. And also trying to emphasize all the love of our people all over the world and giving them the chance to bring and to give them the chance to show their collection of sneakers. This is why we're going to open, not our museum, our archive, where all our lovers all over the world will have a chance to display their sneakers in our museum, where actually the little profit we'll make will go for charity. Because Golden Goose has been always dealing with charity as well since the beginning. But all this to tell you that where we are working is on emotions. And if emotions are not starting from the beginning of the process, we never go to you guys. Or for sure, we never reach the people I want, because the people I want are choosing us as well. Why? Going back to the little example I gave you before, because it's a kind of love story. And that's the reason why you can't betray, your partner, your audience. So how can you guys help on this? Into helping a brand on its legacy. Because when you approach into a new market, and we have been facing this, no, Marella, no, Silvia, it's been super hard when you go to China. But not even to China, guys. If you go to Barletta, it's the same. So we are always talking about China. Italy is the same. France is the same. Everywhere is the same. It's always hard. But what is really important is you guys. Because I was a very unknowledge guy, full of ideas, very determined. But without the help of Marella and Silvia, I couldn't foresee many things. So your part of the job is super important. You don't have to underestimate it, especially for young entrepreneurs, because you are full of ideas, same as I am, but we miss on experience sometimes. So the experience of all the shit you've been dealing with, in the past, can definitely be, very helpful for us. And I can tell that I'm really, really thankful for this. And really keep it always in mind when you approach to young guys, young companies, be always in support of them. Don't listen to them too much. And at a certain moment you have to say, stop. Now let me talk, okay? Because, just to finish, the other super important point is the scarcity. Scarcity, in our case, when basically 90% of your business is on sneakers, how can you deal with? But basically, being really made in Venice, not only in Italy, in Venice, because the production for us is really an inclusive part of our creativity process, where our artisans drive the research of materials, and then they bring it to us. It's super important that if you want really to go to 1 billion, so if you really want to go to 2 million people audience, you have to be able to give a different product to each of them. How can you make it? First of all, differentiate retail than wholesale. And within wholesale, to differentiate by e-tailers, by wholesalers, by department stores. Because even for department stores, the first channel is always online. So if you consider the wholesaler are basically the base and the basket for Farfetch, and then you have the e-tailers, that it's their job, even though that story is changing as well, because they are going to change into marketplace very soon, and marketplace and luxury doesn't really match that much. Because a real marketplace, as Mr. Evans said before, they just facilitate. We don't know what, but they facilitate. Because luxury usually, I don't know if when you have to pay the salary or they have to pay your bill, you allow people to decide what's the price. Usually, there's a reason for the price. So there's a reason if I pay my artisans what I'm paying them. how can I explain to my people when I see my product 50% off on a marketplace because the deliveries, are free of custom? Why, when I ship to my store, I have to pay for duties? There's so many things that has to be, fixed. I think really it's still long the way. But on the other side, I can work on my side. So I don't have to be the usual, entrepreneur or manager who say, the world is going bad, I can't do anything. No, we can. How? Differentiating the product. So can you imagine, Golden Goose is able to make every year 900 different SKU of the same style. So on the shoes, you see now on me, a little bit, fancy. We make only on this style more than 150 variations. Why? With a full efficiency. So we have no leftover because we cluster by channel, by geography, by city, and by customer. Can you imagine? And that's the most important because every time one of our customers is coming to our store, the first thing they ask is, do you have this one in my size? Yes, let me figure out. Then they ask, how many you have on this size? Because this is the point. They want to feel unique. And that's so important. On this, I'm really with you. When you were saying, and also Mr. Evans, the world is going into individuals. That's so true. On this, I do agree 100%. Because social media is a matter of individuality. So, but it's also important when it comes into individuality to become relevant to the audience you have in front of you. So that's the trick. A couple of years ago, it was a matter of reaching the market, making volumes. Now, it's not only that. You have to make volumes, but customizing the product and the experience for all of you. That's the real challenge because, to tell or to take a shoot on your Instagram, it takes 1 second. But to make it real with your factories and with all the creativity chain is not easy. Because again, the risk is to betray the love, the passion that all your customers give to you. And as soon as you do that, you fade. So I think this is pretty much what I can tell you today, and I really thank you for your time. Grazie.